have a wonderful Christmas? I bet we all did, didn't we? Better than we deserve, probably. Anyway, we'll call the meeting to order. Washington County Commissioners Court is now in session, Wednesday, December 27, 2023 at 9 a.m. Commissioner Kester, would you do the honors, please?
This morning we have Pastor Donna Krieger from St. Paul Lutheran Church to give us our invitation.
Let us pray. Dear good and gracious God, before we begin this session of court this morning, we pause to give you thanks because you are the source of life and love, of hope and peace. And we thank you for this fresh start to a new day and the possibilities it holds. We ask that you give these leaders justice and righteousness, that your wisdom and your courage will prevail. Help all to listen and make fair decisions. It is with great trust and faith that we come to you in prayer. We pray as we always do in our Savior Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance to the flag of our great country.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Item number 3, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of the Sheriff's Office monthly report.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Morning.
Pretty basic. We are up a little bit on most of our crimes, not a whole lot. I know our responses to Burton were up a little bit. That's just not the city. It's just outside the city. It still has the Burton address, so it's the total. We're up a little bit, not much. The Class B, or the B side of things, we were up a little bit on your crimes against property and stuff. We're up somewhat, not much, very small percentage. We're up a little bit on the A side too, on the crimes against people, but there again, not much. Total incidents calls, we were down by 220 for the month. We were up on arrest. Of course, that counts, I mean, all agencies that bring people in, so not just us. The Group A arrests were down. The Group B arrests were up, which is, like I said, your misdemeanors and your minor crimes. Traffic citations were up just a hair, not a whole lot. Warnings were down a bit. Crashes stayed the same, 44 last month, 44 this month. Burglaries and thefts were the same, 1 and 1. We didn't have a whole lot of that. Good thing that our people are out roaming around being visible, which is helping a whole lot considering that we're still down. Alarm calls were down from we did it for the last 4 years, the month of November. We went from 50 down to 29, so we're at half, 50% pretty much on the alarm calls.
Okay.
So it is working somewhat, I think. And it's being that we have less people to respond to these, which it's good, and we're still, like I said, it's still going down. We're not going to eliminate all the alarm calls altogether, but we are down half.
Okay, that's good.
As far as the jail side of things, they're finally full staffed. I think as of last week, I think on this thing it still says 5, but this is wrong.
Really?
Yeah.
We are full staffed. I talked to Hensley this morning, to Chief Deputy Hensley, and he said, yeah, they are full staffed.
Whoa.
We're still down 5 on the patrol side of things. We had 2 applicants, but they just didn't pan out. One of them had 6 or 7 jobs within a 13-year period, which is not really, it's a red flag, and the other one had his own issues too, so we're just not getting that. The people that are coming in are not,
Not getting quality.
it's a liability, the liability.
Yeah.
You don't need that.
Other than that, that's about it, unless y'all have some questions.
Thank you.
No, but we see you got a big donation.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Look.
Sheriff did.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Absolutely.
I
Okay.
make a motion to approve the sheriff's office monthly report.
I second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank y'all, appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 4, discuss and possibly act upon the approval to help fund a new fire truck for the Washington Volunteer Fire Department.
Good morning, Judge. Morning,
Good
Commissioners.
morning,
Morning.
Casada.
So this
Chief
is,
Casada, we should say.
yeah, this has been a 3-year process for us. We finally got word yesterday that our chassis is in Laredo, and we're hoping to get it today. So we're just waiting on a driver.
It's- It seems like longer than that.
It's been a long
We
time.
talked about this in a long time, so.
They've been waiting
There's actually a 5-year process for the grant. So we had to wait that 5-year process with the Forestry Service, and then the 3-year wait for the chassis. So
Well,
8 years.
It's getting a little better now, I think.
Yeah, right now, fire engines are, from different manufacturers, it's about a 4-year turnaround. Just,
That's right.
yep, from the day you order. Yeah.
well,
That all being said, I move upon the approval to help fund a new fire truck for the Washington Volunteer Fire Department.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? I'd like to add that this is $30,000
That's correct.
putting towards this truck. Okay, great.
Well, and I would like to add thank you to all of the volunteers out in Washington for what you do for your area of the county and for what you do for Washington County. We really appreciate it. This is something that the court's been looking at since, I believe, 2013, is helping with these forestry grants to upgrade the equipment for you guys. So we really appreciate what you do and the grants that y'all have gone out to get this stuff done. I know that it's a little arduous sometimes dealing with those grants, but we really appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all.
And the constituency really appreciates it.
Absolutely.
So, thank y'all so much.
They think out of the box out there. I've seen how they operate. It's a great fire department.
Okay.
All of them are good. I mean, not just them.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for being with us
Thank
this
you.
morning.
Sure.
Chief, would you like to come up for a photo, please?
Didn't know you were gonna have a photo call.
You're all alone.
There you go. This is good.
And over here, 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
I mean, that's a couple of
And you guys, just so y'all know that the total cost for that was $259,000. That includes the engine and all of the required aftermarket expenses.
Tank. They're gonna take,
Forestry
No,
grant.
Forestry grant.
they're gonna take that too.
Okay, item number 5, discussion and possible action to designate the courthouse annex as the main early voting location for early voting pursuant to Texas Election Code 85.002B. Jen?
I can talk about it.
Okay.
So we were asked by Ms. Jackson to review that Texas Election Code section. And because we do not have a space that is adequate here in the courthouse where her office is, we have to designate another space that is as close as practicable, which turns out the annex is that space. So we just have to have you guys designate that for the upcoming primary elections because it's not going to be in this building.
Okay.
All right.
Make a motion to approve the action to designate the courthouse annex as the main early voting location for early voting pursuant to Texas Election Code Section 85.002B.
I'll second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of a joint resolution and statistical information for joint primary. Ms. Jackson?
Good morning. All right, so we know that the primary election is coming up March 2024, March 5th, 2024. And so the elections, the primary elections board, which consists of myself and both party chairs, discussed having a joint election as they have done in the past. And so that's why you have the joint resolution and statistical information for joint primary. If you would just need y'all's approval. We've always had a joint primary, so we're just asking for that.
Well, and in this political climate, when you have two parties that are getting along in a community, it's really awesome, and it helps everyone in the community because they're working together.
Great.
Sometimes we have to put our political our political parties aside so that we can do what's best for everyone. And I think this is a great way that these two parties have worked together in the past, and I'm glad to see that even though we have some new people in charge, that they're still working together. So it's really great to see.
Absolutely.
So thank you for what you do for that,
You're
Ms.
welcome.
Carroll.
Absolutely, thank you. Appreciate it.
Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve the joint resolution and statistical information for the joint primary.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, presentation of the following monthly report. Elections.
I just stayed right here. As usual, with our voter registration report, we have those daily tasks that we have to perform every day to make sure that our voter registration list maintenance is done and up to date. So that's what that first page, all the way up to number 7, is about. You'll probably see this on every report that I do, because we do this every day. Number 8 is something different. This is the year for the mass mail out of voter registration, renewal voter registration certificates to go out. And so those voter certificates have been processed and they are probably in the mail. Some people may have already received their voter registration certificates, and some are on their way. Sometimes we get these months later through the mail because there's so little. They're like postcards, and basically they do get lost in the mail. And so we're preparing for that. And any voter certificates that are returned to our office, we have to mail a confirmation. So we have our work set out for us with receiving these voter certificates in and then mailing the confirmation letters out to those voters, and hopefully they will respond.
Well, especially in this election cycle, I'm certain that you all are aware that this is going to be probably a pretty big election.
Definitely.
And if the media would please put out to be looking for these cards, because sometimes, I don't know about y'all, but I get a lot of junk mail. And I tend to not look so closely to it. So it would be beneficial if you had something in there letting the people know to be on the lookout for these voter registration
Absolutely.
cards.
And
It would be a benefit to you guys as
Definitely. And this time, the voter certificates are yellow and white. I think it may be canary yellow or whatever, but they're canary yellow and white. The last certificates were the light blue. So,
well.
okay. It's postcard size. How about that? But if you need more detail, I can get that for you. All right, and next report is the voter registration report. The chart that you guys have in front of you are basically just how many registered voters are in the county as of November 30th, 2023. The total amount was 24,717 voters, which we had an increase of about 45 voters, about 1.18% up from October, which in October we had 24,672 voters. So in all of the precincts, the commissioner precincts, we basically had an increase with the exception of precinct 4. That was a decrease of basically 1 voter, so not a big decrease, but We had 106 new voter registration that we processed. We mailed out address confirmations, notices printed and mailed were 29. Address confirmations notices responded, that means we mailed them out. And these people actually responded to their, to that letter. And that's 22 address changes, voter initiated changes within the county. That's 90. And that, people are moving around, and cancel voters, people move out of Washington County. We have about 21. And then the deceased voters, which are also cancel voters, we had 35. And any questions about that report? No? There aren't any? So I just wrote a little bit about what happens after every election. That's when I get a chance to analyze what's going on, what needs to be changed, what can I do better, what didn't work out so well. So I've taken that time, and I could see so many things that will help improve in the future, because I feel like if without improvement, we're going to stay the same, and we're never going to go forward. So there are so many things that we really need to look forward to doing for elections. And we're also preparing for the primary election, and I met with the party chairs and discussed and started planning the primary election, worked on a list of election workers for the primary election, attended some webinars, accepted the treasurer's report for candidates for the 2024 election, and reports submitted by the candidates were scanned and posted on the elections website as required by the Secretary of State. This is a new law to where anytime the candidates submit reports, they have to be posted on the elections website. So right now we're making do with what we have, but we do have a new software that I'm going to start using so that it'll make sense to those candidates. That's all I have. If you have any questions, I'm right here.
No, we just appreciate everything you guys are doing for elections, because it's one of the most important things this country has to offer is free and fair elections.
That's true.
And you guys are keeping up with that, and I appreciate the parties working together, especially in this primary season, because I think it's going to be a busy
It's
election.
gonna be a big one.
I think so.
Absolutely. Lots.
I think so. In the past, for primaries, I would say it's going to be a little bit busier. It's usually about 3,000 voters or so that actually vote. That actually vote during early voting in primaries, but about 5,000 to 8,000 altogether. But then in November, that's when it's going to be 12,000, 10,000 or more
Everyone will come
that
out to work.
that will be going through. So.
Exactly.
That's
But
awesome.
we're ready
want-
for it.
That's what we
Yeah.
want.
Yeah,
That's
Thank
the
you.
goal.
absolutely.
Yes, it is. It's accessible through you go to the Washington County, and then you'll see elections information, and that's where my main information is.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Ms. Graham.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, district clerk report. Questions or comments about the district clerk's report? Justice of the Peace report. Questions or comments about the Justice of the Peace report? Auditor's report. Ms. Hollis?
Good morning.
Good morning.
So here we are, almost the end of the year, but this is for November's. I just want to make sure everybody knows that. So we would have, the remaining amount to collect would be 8.33% after November. The general fund revenue, about 13% remaining to collect, the same with EDS. The DA, 2.46%, EMS 8%. So overall, it's a little less than 12% remaining across the board for those 4 funds. Expenses, the general fund about 12%, EDS 1%, the DA 3%, and EMS shows 5% over. But I do want to say that there are revenues that have been collected to offset expenses for the general fund, for the DA, for EMS, and those are not combined. You have to keep revenues separate from expenses. So through grant funds or reimbursements, they are offsetting, so.
So this number may not be a negative.
Exactly, exactly. And
Right.
until the end of the year, that is not portrayed because you
Until
keep them
you-
separate,
right.
yes. So overall, about 6% remaining to expend. Total sales tax collected for November, $417,143. That's about 20,000 above this time last year, and so 4.5% or so. And so, yeah, now we're getting ready to end the year and getting all that
The
fun
fun
stuff
just
together.
begins
I
for you.
know.
Exactly.
So much fun.
Right.
So, that's all I have.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Sean.
Okay, tax assessor collector report. Ms. Cheryl,
Good morning.
good morning.
Morning.
Not many changes to the report. It's about the same for registration. Placards have increased. Mail-in has stayed stable. We don't get as much mail-in as we used to get. Titles are around the same also. We expect this week to be a big week for titles. So we're gonna have to get the whole week in 2 days. Do y'all have any questions?
None here?
Done here?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank y'all.
Thank you. Okay, treasurer's report.
Good morning.
Morning.
As you can see, the monies are coming in steadily with the funds and stuff that we're invested in. I have them all separated, mainly on the last 2 pages. You can see, since there's not but just 2 more CDs left, everything is in liquid funds at this time. And then I have it broken down by the month as to the interest for October and November. And then it'll be one last line for December, and then I'll start all over with a new listing. But yeah, they're doing quite well. They're all at, in the 5% range, which is great. Great. Yeah, all the other funds, everything else comes out and everything balances for us.
So the year-to-date interest is 1.4 million?
That is just for the investment stuff. That does not include the original CD interest and stuff. Yeah, we've done very well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because all of the CDs paid at one time, so.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's just pooled interest.
Very good.
Okay?
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. Doing fantastic.
Okay, constable's report. Any questions or comments about the constable's report?
Mr. Darius is here today.
Yes.
And I just want to say that Mr. Darius has done an excellent job. He's helped me on 2 or 3 issues that I really appreciate, so.
Thank you for being with us.
Yes.
Okay, county clerk's report?
Do y'all want me to go through those?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, if we go to the, what do you call these things, graphs?
Graphs. That's it.
We collected 72,344.
Where-
27, so that was a little bit up, but overall this year, it has really, everything's kind of been down. I don't know if that's a result of the interest rates being a little higher and we have less filings. We are just taking in everything a little bit less across the board, criminal, civil, probate. And you can see for 2023 in November, last year was better.
What page was that?
It's the first page of the graphs.
I don't have
The
that.
plat's filed.
Yeah.
Is it on your Platts file?
It's right, this is, you got it right there.
Okay, all right. Thank you. I just wanted them to see it.
Oh, okay, okay. And then official records, that was more than October, but less again than September and August. So, and that's sort of a little stale, the latter part of the year. Going on to plats, we have a lot of plats filed in November, as you can see. And we have edged up to over 2020 now, and that's not counting December, what we've had, so. That's been an ever increasing thing as the county's growing and adding subdivisions and such. Criminal cases, we had almost 80 filed and we had almost 60 closed that had judgments. As far as the last 6 years on criminal cases, that's that green bar right there. That is just about where it was in November. It's been a better November than other years. So that has edged up a little bit, and the disposed cases also is pretty much average for November. December, we had 2 court dates. November, we had 2 court dates, I guess. Civil cases, we had more disposed in November. We've been trying to clean those up and hope that some more will be cleaned up, but that's just, we're at the mercy of the attorneys that are filing things and such, so. Civil cases for November of 2023, that's a little bit decreased in what the last couple of years have been, this bottom one there. Yep, there you go. Okay, guardianship cases for November of 2023. We filed 3 of those guardianship cases, and there's a lot of work that goes into that. There's a lot of service that has to be done, and you always have to serve the ward regardless of their situation, their age, or whatever, and other people as well, depending on what applies to that particular situation. Active guardianships, we have about 265 and I've been trying to work those a little bit as the year goes out and see what we can close. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to finish that though before the end of the year. Guardianship cases, let's see, moving on to births. Births in November, we had almost 30 births filed in the county, 26 to be exact. And that's more than November of last year, but not quite as much as November of 2021. We sold a few less birth certificates in November, but that kind of ebbs and flows with the school year, how that runs really. There were 32 deaths in the county in November, which has been more than October and September, not quite as many as August. And for 2023, that edged up a little bit over November of last year. Not as much as, 2021 will always be a peak with deaths because of COVID time. And we didn't sell very many death certificates in November, but again, most of those, they order through the state now. So. Marriage licenses, that continues to be a little bit up. Seems like more people are getting married in the fall now. Probably because it's not quite as hot.
Yeah.
In the summertime, you don't have to worry about the cake melting or something like that. Yeah, and we had a couple in there this morning as I was coming out here that was getting a marriage, wanted to get a marriage license, so. Yeah, we have, it's funny, we have couples that, you know, are in for the holidays with family, they're getting married, so they just come in and get their license here, you know, where their mom and dad, grandparents live, and that's kind of neat. It's multiple generations getting marriage licenses in our county, so it's kind of cool. But that's it, marriage licenses sold, is a little bit more for, November of this year. Y'all have any questions?
As always, though, thank you for putting this in the
Yeah,
draft
it
form.
is, it's interesting to see,
It's
no
helpful.
doubt.
It's excellent.
Takes a little extra time, but it's very interesting for me to see as
It
well.
lets you see
A picture. A
yeah.
broad picture of it, yes, I agree.
Beth, do you think it may be a good time for the media to call attention to the fraud alert thing again? Because it looked like
Oh.
it kind of dropped down quite a bit now.
Yes, yeah, when there's something in the newspaper or on KWHI, we get an influx of it. We have a fraud alert program that is on our website, the county clerk's website, at co.washington.tx.us, and click on the county clerk, and it's just right there, fraud alert program, right there on that page. And it costs absolutely nothing. The county bought the program through our software vendor. And anything going forward, it doesn't alert for anything historically. But going forward, if there's something filed with the name the person registers, that they will get an alert either on by text or by email, whatever they put in as far as a contact. And, you know.
Pretty
we're all-
user-friendly.
It's very user-friendly. And you can put in multiple names, you know. You can put in Sarah Forsythe, Sarah Catherine Forsythe, you know, Sarah Smith, whatever name you might have gone by. And,
what all does it pay for?
pardon me?
What all does it pay for? I mean, what alerts do you get for if they file?
Oh, it says an alert, something's been filed at the county clerk's office, and then you contact us and see what that was. And it's absolutely free, and, the information that you have put in is not sold to any other company. It is purely, a search engine through our software. So that information doesn't go anywhere else. Yeah, that's important for people to know.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, thank you. Okay, Veterans Report?
Hey, good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning.
So, nothing outside of the normal to report. We had 221 contacts and 52 forms completed on behalf of veterans or dependents. We had 2 flags folded, and those were for veterans Alfred Werchin and John Mitchmore. If you look at the veterans trends on the year, as of the end of November, we're at 68 and 230 respectively for forms and contacts.
So we're up on our average.
You've had a busy year.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
We
you
sure
have.
are.
Been busy.
Well, thank you so much, Mr.
Yes.
President.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
the work
you.
you know with these veterans, that's for sure, so thank you.
Thank you all.
Item number 8, discuss and possibly act upon granting authorization to the county judge, county auditor, and county treasurer to make budget amendments and budget line item transfers if necessary to close the 2023 fiscal year for Washington County.
I make a motion to grant authorization of the county judge, county auditor, and county treasurer to make budget amendments and budget line item transfers if necessary to close the 2023 fiscal year for Washington County.
I second.
Go ahead, John.
That's fine. Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of accounts payable.
Well, we're gonna end the year on a high note, $737,619.58 in bills this week. There were a couple of the grant works we paid for, which was out of,
47,000 there.
yeah.
Well, you
And
had
then,
a
yeah.
big one in EDS for
Yes,
the
yes.
seal coat contract, which is
400.
just under.
More than
400.
half of this is for,
Yeah,
asphalt paving.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's the hotel motel checks are all in there, the 3 checks for the volunteer fire departments, which are Burton and Washington, and then Gay Hills are all in there.
That
And then
amounted
there's.
to 75,000 just for the fire department. right?
Yes, yeah, and then there's the radio contingent, the licenses, I believe is what those are, that's 48-something thousand. So, yeah, it's some chunks of change in there for
Really
big things. A lot of it is just normal weekly,
Business as
monthly
usual.
bills. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. I move upon the approval of the accounts payable.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Item number 10.
I'm making a motion to adjourn.
I second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are adjourned. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year,
Yeah.
everybody.
See y'all next year.
We'll be back.